Hey, Teddy here. I hope you're all enjoying the latest episode of Casual Reviews with Bear Rimshot. Just want to know why? Because I worked so hard in making it bigger and better. And yeah, um, speaking of which, I have some big news I'd be honored to share with you guys in regards to life as a YouTuber. Now, first off, as you guys have, in case you guys haven't noticed, Casual Reviews with Bear Rimshot is finally back. It was my first ever editorial for the show, discussing what is a public apology. And screw you, Azuchi Guardian, for always causing a lot of drama and all that kind of crap, and ruining everything and all that kind of crap, but yeah. In all seriousness, yeah. Now, you guys may be wondering, from what you guys saw in the end of the episode, what am I going to do next for Casual Reviews with Bear Rimshot? Now, coming up next, as I stated before, will be my first ever countdown episode titled The Top 11 Dumbest Kingdom Hearts Moments. Now, when I do my top 11 dumbest Kingdom Hearts moments countdown, don't expect me to say that the Kingdom Hearts series sucks. That's not how it works, you know? I mean, I know some people like to think that I hate Kingdom Hearts just because of what went wrong with Kingdom Hearts, which is what I hate about Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, technically, I don't really hate the entire series per se. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kingdom Hearts is a good game to play. It's just that, well, when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts series as well, it has its good moments, but at the same time, it has some serious issues, some major flaws worth pointing out. Being as somebody who grew up loved watching Disney movies, And I definitely would love to try to be able to point out these moments possible. But, yeah. So now you guys may be wondering what took me so long. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for me to do my Super Smash Con vlog. Now, if I can be very honest with what took me so long with that, apparently I've been busy with other stuff surrounding my life. So I sincerely apologize for taking too long with that. So as doing special vlogs go, do expect the next vlog to be one where I share my thoughts on Super Smash Con. The next comes New York Comic Con as well. And and also coming soon to my YouTube page, being as somebody who now knows how to edit videos for myself, I have great news. I'm sure you'll love to hear. You will all love to hear when I say this. That I do plan on doing some parody videos and mixtapes, parodies and mixtapes on my YouTube page. Now, when I say mixtapes, I do mean like compilations. Of certain moments of certain TV shows or movies or games or stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I'm gonna handle these mixtapes. And I already stated this before that the first mixtape compilation, first special mixtape I'll be doing will be one based on House of Mouse. Whereas first parody videos go, it's going to be, as I promised before, one where Hitler discovers animation look back. For the next Downfall parody, just in time for the Halloween season, I was supposed to do one where he finds out that that Agent Shade is inspired by Silent Mansion. But after having a talk with one of the voice actors involved in these projects about that, might as well cancel that Downfall parody, and I mean it. And, yeah. And I still can't believe Morgan still thinks that I still created Zuchi Guardian. Which in reality I didn't. Now let's be honest. The only reason why Morgan thinks that is just because he saw he the only reason why Morgan would say that about Zuchi Guardian is all just because, well, he's been binge watching a lot of epic battles, in which I would prefer for him to watch hours of instead of hours of Zuchi Guardian. At least with epic battles, sure, it may contain things you may not agree on, but at the end of the day, it still has its entertaining moments. But, yeah. However, it is also worth noting that I also have great ideas of other parody videos I would love to do as well. Another batch of parody videos I would love to do will be one with... Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember Steamed Hams from The Simpsons. Well, either way, I'm going to do some of that as well. However, when I do my first ever Steamed Hams parody video, it will be one inspired by, it would be one where it would be dubbed by the Mickey Mouse universe, where Principal Skinner is voiced by Mickey Mouse, Superintendent Chalmers is voiced by Minnie Mouse, and Mrs. Skinner is voiced by Donald Duck. That would be funny to see Donald Duck appearing to be in danger, you know? Considering what happens in various Disney cartoons, including in House of Mouse, obviously, but yeah. And, yeah. When we speak about my first ever Steamed Hams parody video I'll be doing, it would pretty much be released just in time for Mickey Mouse's 90th birthday. And enough news about the video about what upcoming projects I currently have. Let's get on to a new segment I'll be doing for Teddy's Updates called Social Media Spotlight, where basically I talk about what's been going on within my life in social media. Now, do keep in mind, I am not going to talk about everything that goes on in the world of social media. The world of social media, only parts that are actually relevant to my life as a YouTuber, let alone my life as a content creator, that matters. So yeah, first up in social media spotlight, let's address in regards to this tweet I made. Now, if you've been following me on Twitter, then chances are you guys may have noticed that whenever I get to release a new part of Casual Reviews with Bear Rimshot, what is a public apology, you guys will not only see me create this WTFU hashtag on it, but also you will also see me shoehorn a change the channel hashtag. I bet you're all wondering, why is that? Now, the WTFU hashtag part, if you've been watching me enough, then you guys should obviously know, the WTFU part I'm not going to explain for. I've already explained it too many times before. So I think you guys should already know what's the TFU hashtag for. But as for what's with change the channel, well, if I can be very honest, well, let's just say, to keep this long story short, yes. It all comes down to all the behind the scenes drama I've gone through. All the drama I've personally gone through behind the scenes making this episode. Not all of it, but mostly surrounding who I will say was the elephant in the room behind the scenes himself, Azuchi Guardian. What can I say, people? I hate Azuchi Guardian. Let me tell you, during the making of the entire episode, the reason why I would give it the change, the channel hashtag it deserves, is because, well, during the grand majority of the making of the episode, I've personally gone through lots of drama. And I do mean lots of drama. Caused by none other than the evil McEvilson himself, Azuchi Guardian. What went wrong behind the scenes? Well, there are many things that Azuchi Guardian do that is wrong behind the scenes. Some notable things he did that pained me would include a prime example, of course. He stole my review show. No joke about that. And you can tell how angry I am for him to do that. And another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes would be whenever, say, I would consider hiring someone to be on my review show, to be on casual reviews of Bear Shot, or I happen to contribute some websites. This is the moment where Azuchi Guardian would obviously have the habit of targeting not just me, but also those people for no bloody reason. And another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes would be another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes would include back during the Christmas season and back during my first ever Christmas ever since I broke ties with Azuchi Guardian, he made a commentary on casual reviews of Bamshock Disney Infinity without getting permission from me, you know? And if you guys are ever wondering why you can't see it anymore, well, that's because, well, when it comes to Azuchi Guardian, you can tell, if you actually saw it for yourself, you can tell he did some really unprofessional things. Like, for example, he would lie to me what I think about every Disney game. Well, not all. Well, let me tell you if you want to know what I think about every Disney game, well, not all companies are perfect, you know? Well, there are some Disney games I like. There are some I do dislike, like Kingdom Hearts 2, for example. I often regard it as the worst game in the series. But that's just me, personally, but yeah. And then, he would also leak information for what is a public apology. Very unprofessional. He was supposed to keep that a surprise. Not leak it, you know? Just because it doesn't see me anymore. It doesn't give him the right to do so. Also, he would also talk bad about Nicholas Centra and Kyle Pacone. I mean, what did Kyle Pacone have to do all this, you know? Truth be told, how can I put this? When it comes to Kyle Pacone, although I am good friends with Kyle, it is worth noting that the only reason why I brought up Kyle back in 2015, in one of my updated vlogs back in 2015, all came down to the fact, well, that at that time, Kyle was considered of possibly collaborating with Tim Singleton, a.k.a. the Timinator. If you guys really want to know what really happened between Kyle Pacone and Tim Singleton, Well, I will say this. When it comes to Capone, he's moved to New Jersey, whereas with the case of Tim Singleton, he's apparently already retired from reviewing, and instead is now working. So you guys have to respect his personal space if he needs it. But yeah, when it comes to Tim Singleton, he and I are both still good friends even up to this day. Even though the only reason why I would normally see Tim is mostly through ARC programs. That's why I normally get to see Tim. That will be through ARC programs. And if you thought, and when speaking about the camp I did get to sleep away at with Tim Singleton, you may be thinking it was Kutz, but that's not really the case. Technically, it wasn't really Kutz where I saw Tim. Where I did get to reunite with Tim Singleton, aka the Timinator, would be at Taconic through ARC. Yes, and you've all heard that right. That's where I currently see Tim Singleton. That's where I've been seeing Tim Singleton at, but mostly through ARC programs. That's it. But yeah, yes, for Nicholas Sentra, well, I'm afraid you all need to give him space, you know? And don't worry, people. The Great Gamer Boy fan is gonna happen soon, but it may take a while. But, yeah, and another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes between me and Zuchi Garden would include, back in summer 2015, while Ari just broke ties with the Zuchi Guardian, due to what a big ugly rapist he is, I did not one, but 2 birthday message videos as of that same summer. One to Hamitude, and one to Morgan Ledger. When I did personally do birthday messages to those 2 beloved reviewers, this is the moment where Zuchi Guardian would do at least something to ruin their birthdays, up to the point that they would both get bitter with me again. Now, with the case of Hamitude, as you guys already should be aware already by now, Zuchi Guardian did indeed badmouth based on how I played Happy Birthday on the clarinet, you know? Yeah, I have to admit that, I was proud of what I did, in all honesty. I did what I could. And then, also with the case of Morgan, this is a moment where, let's just say, don't know how he did it, but either way, Zuchi Guardian must have done something to ruin Morgan's birthday. Up to the point that it would make Morgan not want to be with me anymore after I did a nice birthday apology video. I mean, just a shame since, at least I got somebody who loves Dr. Seuss. And, yeah. And he can be very funny at times, even more funnier than a Zuchi Guardian, obviously. But, yeah. Whereas with Hamitude, although Hamitude did guilty enough allow Zuchi Guardian to ruin his birthday at one point, at least last year, months after I got wrongfully banned from the Mr. Code and Animat fan clubs, at least Hamitude was still nice enough to let me support him on Patreon only if I wanted to. Well, that is if I have enough money to do so, you know. which definitely does explain why you guys did get to see me appear in this DuckTales music video with Jaime Tude. DuckTales music video that Jaime Tude did last year, you know. Had a lot of fun playing. I had a lot of fun doing some work on the music video, despite curious on what's with the gummy bear, with Morgan throwing the gummy bears. Hopefully, he better not be mocking me for being autistic. That's how Morgan is. He hates working with people who are autistic, and he hates bronies, obviously. But, yeah. And, yeah. When it comes to the DuckTales music video, I actually had fun. When I appeared in the DuckTales music video, I was that same dude who was seen playing the original DuckTales game on my Retron 5. I was the person who was playing DuckTales, the original DuckTales game on his Retron 5. And, yeah. And speaking of which, there's another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes would be a Halloween trick that Zuchi Guardian did on me 2 years ago. Now, back during the Halloween season 2 years ago, which would also be the second anniversary of Halloween updates, this is the moment where Zuchi Guardian would not only, as usual, lie about me. Not only would he lie about me, as usual, make up at least one lie about me, but also another thing that also he was belittling Jaime Tude so badly that when I had to report it to Jaime Tude about all this, I not only lost my friendship with Mike Mixtape because of that, and don't worry, people, Mike Mixtape and I are both now currently on good terms. Anyways, but also, I lost a lot of friends because of Zuchi Guardian, and I got wrongfully banned from any Facebook group dedicated to either Mr. Koda or anyone affiliated with him, both past and present. Which is a total shame, considering of how that, when it comes to Mr. Koda and friends, it is worth acknowledging the fact that these are actually reviewers who actually inspired me to make casual reviews with Bear Rimshot. So without having to draw inspiration, without anyone affiliated with Mr. Cohen Friends, and yes, this includes the people who have already moved on from him, like Animat and Morgan, I would not be the reviewer. I would not be the kind of reviewer I already am today, you know? Which definitely did explain why, when I did my Return to Neverland review, I did go all Morgan Ledger or Morgles over when Huey Toonmore didn't get to include I'll Try in his top 11 tear-jerking songs in an animated feature. And Animat for not including Return to Neverland in his top 10 best animated sequels. Too bad Azuchi Garden did help me edit the entire episode. We go shoehorn in some rape jokes. Getting viewers as well as myself under the impression that Azuchi Garden would want to rape both Huey Toonmore for not including I'll Try in his top 11 Tearjerky Songs an animated feature, and Animat for not including Return to Neverland in his top 10 best animated sequels. And yes, people, this is where I got the idea that Azuchi Guardian is a rapist. Because of those two moments from when he helped me edit casual reviews of Bam Return to Neverland, as well as what he also thinks about bronies in general, regardless of their actual sexual orientations. I mean, because when it comes to bronies in general, truth be told, not all bronies are gay, you know? And if the fact that that there are bronies who can have girlfriends are not good enough to prove that there are bronies who can be straight, well, let me tell you guys for a fact. Well, what if I told you? Well, what if I told you guys, especially you, Azuchi Guard, in case if you're watching this for some weird reason, that there are bronies out there who can be as homophobic as you are. I am not making that part up. Bronies who are homophobic actually exist. And if you guys don't believe me, go look it up on social media for yourself and you'll get what I mean, you know? I'm really not making that part up at all. There are bronies who can be homophobic. So no wonder what makes a homophobic person gay. You wouldn't call a homophobic person gay, would you? I know, I most certainly wouldn't. For they're both polar opposites, obviously. Hell, I'm straight and I have a girlfriend. However, despite the fact that I may be somebody who may be straight, up to the point that I have my own girlfriend, I wouldn't really call myself homophobic per se. I'm just one of those people who chooses not to be gay but prefer to be straight. It's fine if you want to be gay, but I prefer to be straight. But yeah. That's why I would view Azuchi Guardian as a major sex offender, considering how he treats the entire MLP community. But yeah, also, when I did my What is a Public Apology editorial, I did incorporate a Mr. Code example, an Animat example, and a Huey Toonmore example. It's too bad I sadly could not include Animation Look Back Ralph Bakshi, considering of how that, when it comes to Animation Look Back Ralph Bakshi, for me personally, it has its apologetic moments for me personally. Considering of what happened back when I was still in high school, when Animat was still making Animation Look Back the best of stop motion. But, yeah. One day for What's in the Box, I can promise you all for a fact that from whenever I have the time to be able to write a certain letter to Animat for What's in the Box, I'll be sure to ask him how come Animat didn't get to look at Robot Chicken on Animation Look Back the best of stop motion. But at least he already did look at some PG-13 rated movies on Studio Ghibli to make it all up. And now Ralph Bakshi. Also worth noting that I did spew in some jokes regarding to some fellow Mr. Code contributors, including some from Mr. Code, a lot for Animat, as well as some for Huey Toonmore, one for South Jersey Sam, some from Morgan Ledger, and yes, people, I spew out some nostalgic angry video game nerd jokes as well, only the clean ones. I make sure it's clean, like PG clean, you know? Now, if I had a favorite joke that I've tossed out in What is a Public Apology, that would be all the Animat jokes. Not only do I love watching Animat, but also another great thing about Animat, about being an Animat fan on my part, is that despite of how toxic it has already become these days, there are I noticed a lot of people who are fans of my work seem to enjoy watching Animat. More namingly, people in the epic battles community seem to love watching Animat. It seems that a lot of epic battles fans and Dante all seem to enjoy watching Animat. It definitely does give myself and you guys a big smile on the face that I would consider doing. That I would consider spinning out a lot of Animat jokes. Even though the point on why I would consider tossing out a joke is I have to make sure it's clean and relevant to the subject matter. But yeah. And also another joke that no, I mean yeah, it is also worth noting now yeah. Hell, I even plan on doing some episodes tackling a handful of these people as well. You're definitely going to see a lot more Animat episodes than any other reviewer. Being I am a huge Animat fan after all. But, yeah. And yeah. And another thing that also, yeah, speak about the many friends I lost because of Azuchi Guardian, it's mainly Animat slash Mr. Code fans I've lost friends over. Well, there are some Animat fans and some Mr. Code fans I still get along with just fine. There are those, now, have you guys ever met somebody on the internet who may seem cool at first, but in the end of the day, do end up to be suspicious one way or another? I've gone through that myself, I will say, Particularly how I feel about fellow Animat slash Mr. Code and Friends fanboy, Caleb Korger. Now, as you guys can tell, there is a good reason why I lost a lot of respect for Caleb. Because the thing that bugs me about Caleb is the fact he's somebody who can never handle constructive criticism. Not only can Caleb Korger not handle constructive criticism, but also another thing also went wrong with Caleb is the fact, well, I'm sure some of you guys who may know him, may have already noticed that he obviously cannot handle different opinions. Plus, he can also be very hypocritical at times, And well, as much as I'm happy that he understands how much I'm pissed, too bad Caleb has to be such a big baby about how I feel. In certain ways, But, yeah. And, that's what went wrong. That's also another thing that also... So, yeah. If you see either an Animat fan or a Mr. Code fan say anything negative to me, it's all because of Azuchi. If you ever see an Animat fan or a Mr. Code fan not want to be around me anymore, blame Azuchi Guardian for that. He's evil McEvilson. Why all this drama happened, And this is why I have been having a stressful creative life because of that. Mostly surrounding the epic battle side of things. Which I'll be sure to do another video on another time. But, yeah. Another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes would be radio drama. When he was going to decide to make his own radio dramas. Nothing against him for doing that. It just that, well, one of the things that he often does when he makes his own radio dramas, he thinks bullying is okay. I mean, if I can be very honest on why I have to criticize his don't come to think that I would try to go against him making videos. I'm really not gonna lie. I'm really not a fan of stopping people from doing what they like. However, bullying is never okay. Which definitely does explain why nobody, not even myself, would ever want to be around Azuchi Guardian anymore. He like Caleb Korger, can't handle different opinions, and he, like Caleb Korger, can't handle constructive criticism. Can't handle criticism in general, no matter how constructive it sounds. Which also doesn't make me... There's so much of a good reason why I feel Caleb Korger should rightfully get expelled from the Ant-Man fan club for that, for what he did to me. And because of what he's been doing to me during my final year of high school, that's why he would go through breakdowns with cast members of these kind of projects, and he earned it big time. And another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes, is, yeah. And that's also another reason why I hate Caleb Korger now, is because he can't take responsibility of his own actions. But yet I can. But, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much everything that went wrong. That's pretty much everything that went wrong behind the scenes during the making of Casual Reviews with Bear Rimshot. What is a public apology? At least as usually Guardian-wise, that is. It's not all of it, but I'm going to talk about it in the next vlog. Oh, you'll see why that is once I get there. But, yeah. And also, another thing I also did post on social media is this. Now, if you've been following me on both Facebook and Twitter, then you'll notice I did state that something about of how that no matter what Azuchi Guardian really thinks about the latest episode of Casual Reviews with Bear and John, that I'm proud of it. Why would I consider doing something like this, you guys may ask? Well, let's just say, now do you guys hate going through trolls? I know, I hate going through trolls personally, especially when it's someone as bad as Azuchi Guardian. But anyways, I come to notice when I release each part of Casual Reviews of Fairmshot what is a public apology, I did get more dislikes than likes for some reason, which could hint that it's obviously trolls who was obviously disliking. So somehow, thought I'd be the bigger person when, say, Azuchi Guardian dare come troll me in regards to the latest episode of Casual Reviews with Bear and Shot. And besides, I already got an email from YouTube surrounding in regard to this privacy complaint I'm that I got from him. You know. Speaking of which, I'm sure some of you guys may have noticed that I released two versions of Part 1. Why is that? Well, let's just say the part that is the censored version would be just the real name of Azuchi Garden being censored, you know? Whereas when I have to admit I'm pleasantly surprised to see that that it didn't get to be taken down at all, thankfully, even if regardless if I follow the rules or not, you know? And I just knew in the bottom of my heart, after already getting to know Azuchi going on a very personal level, you can tell he has bad taste in fair use, you know? Stealing is not fair use. Bullying is not fair use. But, yeah. Another thing that also went wrong with another thing that also it also yeah and speaking of which and also another thing that also need to address regarding to the world of social media will also come down to this. Now, if you guys also have still been following me on Twitter even up to this day, then chances are you guys may have noticed that that after having to hear out what Morgan actually thinks about Azuchi Guardian, I decided to stand up for myself and tweet out, pointing out that based that in response to what Morgan actually thinks about Azuchi Guardian, that that it gave me this wonderful idea. This great idea I have in mind for when the 10th anniversary of Epic Battles comes. What would I be doing for the 10th anniversary of Epic Battles, you guys may ask? Let's just say, it would be a guide to white characters in Epic Battles, you know? Because something I've been going through, and you know, Morgan ain't the only person to make me do such a thing, you know? I've been going through this ever since during my residential days. Back when I was still in high school, you know? I would go through, both Dante and I would often go through, like, let's just say when someone dare try to complain over, say, a character is in it for whatever reason, you know? For a lot of characters that aren't Epic Battles, it should be obvious for all of you to know on why each character had to be an Epic Battles, is an Epic Battles one way or another. And you know, when we speak about things like Disney, Nintendo, Marvel, and Star Wars, these are things that you guys need to understand, you know? Consider how major easy targets Disney, Nintendo, Marvel, and Star Wars all can be. You know, they're just highly that popular. Even though popularity is not necessarily needed for a character to be in Epic Battles. All it takes is nothing but likability. That's what matters most. And speaking of editorials, I definitely have another major thing I'd like to address as well. Now, when we speak about editorials, I know some of you are going to think that my intentions on making these editorials for casual reviews of Bamshot are meant to threaten people. But technically, that is not my intention at all. If I can be very honest on why I would consider making editorials, well, all I ever wanted to do is to educate you guys surrounding a certain piece of media, you know? Considering the fact that there may be things about the world of media, the world of pop culture that I may know about and not all of you guys do, and at the same time there can be things that you might not know about. I mean that you may know about, but I don't, you know? So just keep in mind that I just want to edutain you guys in regards to the world of media. For sometimes there might be things you guys might not know about, you know? It's also the same reason why reviewers such as the Nostalgia Critic, Animat, Joey Tedesco, and Tungren would all go make editorials themselves. They basically just want to edutain the viewers. Also being able to form their own opinions, you know? But, yeah. And now I have something else major I would love to address as well. Now, if you're a regular viewer of Mr. Coat, then chances are some of you may have noticed that I've already did Patreon ask him certain questions, you know. And to those who are new to hearing about that, you guys may be wondering, what did I ask Mr. Coat so far? Now, the first question I asked him would be one where I asked him about whether or not should preschool characters really be in crossovers. The reason why I asked Mr. Coat that is because, well, and yes, people, it all has to do with the fact that you do have those so-called Animat or Mr. Coat fans who can be supportive towards Zuchi Guardian's Idisa. And when we speak about a Zuchi Guardian, this is the same exact person who would do anything to illegalize preschool characters popping up in crossovers. And, yeah. When it comes to that particular Mr. Code episode, I Patreon asked him, take it as part of my Change the Channel campaign. You know? And then, of course, another question I also did ask him would be, originally, I did ask him as a which is worse question, but ended up being a which is better question, being between Return to Neverland and Planes. And I definitely agree with him that Return to Neverland is definitely way more watchable than Planes. The next question I asked Mr. Code would be, should non-video game characters be in Super Smash Bros.? Now, when it comes to non-video game characters, let me tell you all for a fact that I've always been open about the idea of non-video game characters popping up in Super Smash Bros. I mean, in case if you're all wondering what I think about the idea of the minions popping up in Smash, now, as much as I love the minions, well, let's just say they'd be better off as an assist trophy. I mean, if any Universal-owned characters could be in Smash, it would have to be Shrek. Why? Not just because Shrek is love, Shrek is life, but also because, well, he is one of the most requested characters to be in Smash, and Shrek has had his moments where he did have positively impact the video game world. more notably on the Xbox. And then came a which is better, a which is another which is better. Only this time, instead of doing it on two movies, I decided to do it on two individual characters, being Jane and Melody. And I'm really not going to blame Mr. Coat for preferring Jane over Melody. For I thought Jane is a very likable character. Whereas Melody is pretty much an echo fighter of Ariel. Only this time, the only major difference is Melody, unlike Ariel, never got to show her belly button. And then, comes my, another Disney sequel related question, being a which is better question, being on The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 and Return to Jafar. Personally, I respectfully disagree with Mr. Coat in regards to that episode. For I think The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 definitely when it comes to The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, I thought it's the better Disney sequel, considering how the nice thing about Hunchback 2 is at least you get all the original voice actors from the original movie reprising their roles. And the sad part is that for companies like Disney, it's not every day you get that, you know? Like, for example, you ever notice that in films such as Return to Jafar, Mulan 2, and Belle's Magical World, they all didn't get all the original voice actors to reprise these roles, which is why these movies suck. Whereas movies such as Aladdin and the King of Thieves, for example, a film like Aladdin and the King of Thieves, for example, is where it ended up being really good. And another question I also asked Mr. Coat just recently would be which is scarier question between Pooh's Grand Adventure and The Black Cauldron. And the next question I decided to ask Mr. Coat would be another Disney-related question, but it's also another crossover-related question at the same time, rolled into one. And the reason why I would ask him this is because, well, you ever notice that people in this world always only care about the popularity side of things more than the likability when considering characters for things like crossovers? That is one thing I come to notice about this world, is people, especially internet reviewers, only care about nothing but popularity. Now, when Dante and I both consider anyone for epic battles, we don't take a look at it as if popularity matters. We look at more at the likability side of things. You know, if people actually like these characters, might as well put them in, you know? But, yeah. And speaking of Mr. Coat, this also leads me to address a fellow Mr. Coat fanboy named Chris Etrata. Why do I bother addressing him in this video, you guys may ask? Well, let's just say, it's pretty relevant on my part, considering of how, ever since I did my last update vlog, I noticed a lot of Animat fans finally came to accept the reality that Chris Etrata actually does have issues, major issues, and that's why I consider bringing up to you guys about him this time. And for those who don't know who Chris Etrata is, if you're a regular viewer of Animat, then chances are you guys may know him more as the person who would go make Animat review horrible animated movies such as The Legend of the Titanic, Surf's Up 2, and Food Fight. And let's be honest, he's just making him to review those movies just to appreciate Clyde with a chance at meatballs even more. And Clyde with a chance at meatballs too, as well as Hotel Transylvania. And Hotel Transylvania too. You know what I mean? But yeah. For those who are curious to wonder what my experience with Chrissy Trotter is like, I'm sure some of you may have heard it, but yeah. But either way, I'm going to say this. It all started way back when I was still going to school at Westbrook. At that time, Chrissy Trotter and I were both huge fans of anime at the time. And during that time, Animat was already doing a spin-off of Animat's reviews called Animat's Classic Reviews, where you can make him review older animated movies. Anyways, this is the moment where Animat would then hit the end of the South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut review. Is it? But anyways, yeah. He would then hint of a Patreon request he received. And yeah. At first I thought he was cool considering of how being as somebody who enjoyed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs from what it is, as well as Hotel Transylvania and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. However, but then fast forwarding came the end of 2014 when a fan club dedicated to Animat has recently been opened. So when I joined the Animat fan club, I've made many friends over there, you know. But then, after I lost my friendship with Mike Mixtape over Zuchi Guardian's idiocy at one point, this is where everything changed. How so, you guys may ask? Well, when I tried to express how I felt at the time in regards to Mike Mixtape when he was a big threat to me, just because of what Zuchi Guardian did to Haimitude, this is the moment where I got wrongfully banned from not just the Mr. Code, but also Animat fan clubs as well. So then I've been expressing on Facebook how I felt about it. But then came Chrissy Trotta, who would go step up to me and tell me that I was making lies and following Morgan Ledger. Okay, well, now from what I stated about Mike Mixtape, I really wasn't lying, okay? I was really telling the truth, you know? Though again, you could say that I was misunderstanding, but I wouldn't necessarily say I was lying. For there is a difference between lying and a misunderstanding. I even been taught about this back in high school as well, you know? So then, one day after my high school graduation has just passed, this is the moment where Chrissy Trotter would go bug me up to no end. He would go bombard me about my so-called unhealthy relationships with Mike Mixtape and Morgan Ledger. And when I did have to explain to Chrissy Trotta about what happened between me and Mike Mixtape back in January, Chrissy Trotta was playing deaf and blind with me. So as you can tell, Chrissy Trotta was just being a big bozo about what went wrong. For I already gave him the links of what went wrong between me and Mike Mixtape. See, as I did pinpoint on, so when I labeled him as a Zuchi Garden fanboy for that, this moment where the last words he would write to me is, all I ever do is lie and threaten, both of which are false about me, for the record. And then, this is the moment where, he would go post in the Anime Fan Club group behind my back, telling lies about me to the anime fan community. And you guys can tell what a big Azuchi Guardian fanboy as Chris Etrata is. But, yeah, yeah. Well, if you ever thought that what Chris Etrata is saying is true, that's because Azuchi Guardian told you so. Don't listen to what Caleb Korger. Just do me a favor, people. Especially if you're an Animat fan or a Mr. Code fan watching this. Whatever Caleb Korger, Alexander Morabella, Chris Etrata, and Mia Ray all say about me is all false. They're just being bozos. Trolls. Big babies. Man-children. Man-babies. People who ruined epic battles. People who ruined casual reviews of Bear Rimshot. People who ruined Super Smash Brothers. People who ruined Disney Infinity. People who ruined Amiibo. And people who ruined Lego Dimensions. So my point is, whatever you guys do, please block Caleb Korger. Please block Alexander Mirabella. Please block Chris Etrata. Please block Mia Ray immediately. Yeah. And if you guys really want to know what's the difference between how I am now and how I was back in 2012, you all might be pleasantly surprised to learn that as you guys can tell, I'm not in residential school anymore. I'm now in a group home. And in case if you're all wondering why I never vlog at my group home at all. Not that I can't at all. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but normally I would choose not to, considering the fact of how that if I did, not only would there are some major obstacles that I can go through when I do when I vlog at my group home. There's not enough space in my room. Sometimes I may have to deal with group home staff calling out my name for whatever reason. And then you're also gonna I also fear that that any of you guys are gonna be somebody on the internet is gonna be questioning regarding just some of the residents living there. And I really, really don't want that to happen. You know? As well as having Joey Heller stalk me. Don't get me wrong. Joey Heller and I are both good friends. Just well, that's also another behind the scenes problem I'll get into later. While I was editing casual reviews of Bramso as a public apology, Joey would have the habit of stalking me. And yeah. Also, another thing that also changed since then, I'm not in high school anymore. Another thing that also changed since then, I now have a job, which I've been very satisfied with, I must say. And yes, I do mean the kind where I get to earn some money, some real money. And another thing that also, another thing that's also changed ever since 2012 has passed is because that I'm now legally an adult. I have been attending to movies independently. Usually, I would go to my local Alamo for that. Which movies could I have seen? Well, some movies I've personally seen alone include Elf. I actually enjoyed that. Another movie I've also seen independently would be Isle of Dogs. But believe me, if you guys ever get to get to see Isle of Dogs at the Alamo Draft House, and you are a sweet tooth, then you guys should go try out the Trash Island Shake. It's just delish. And another movie I also saw independently would include you know that Muppet movie set in Manhattan? I saw that as well. And then there's The Neverending Story. And then and then um and then and then another movie I also saw independently was Spaceballs. Definitely hilarious comedy. Funny enough, earlier today while I was walking to my local high school truck, Skype chatting with my good friend Nicholas Centric Banana Gamer 105, I did have a discussion with him about comedies. And what else did I see independently? I also saw Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's definitely such an amazing movie. Thank God I was able to see that instead of Teen Titans Go to the Movies at my local Alamo. And then there's also The Neverending Story. And then there's also Fantastic Mr. Fox I also saw. Another movie I saw independently would be a movie called Smallfoot. It was not at my local Alamo, but rather I went all the way to the Greenberg Theater to see it. Originally, I was supposed to see it with a good friend / fanboy, but on the end of the day, due to the fact that he couldn't make it for whatever reason, I was all alone, you know. And then there's also My Neighbor Totoro, though I didn't see it at my local Alamo. I had to go all the way to Ridge Hill. I had to take my paratransit to Ridge Hill. You guys may be wondering, what about all the Star Wars movies? Since I am a huge Star Wars fan, well, usually I would be in need to invite my dad for at least one viewing of each of these movies. Why? Well, let's just say it is worth noting that, in case if you're all wondering how I became a Star Wars fan, it was all thanks to my dad. Without my dad, I would not be the Star Wars fan I already am today. And also before I go, there's one more thing I almost forgot to mention. Another thing that also went wrong behind the scenes during the making of casual reviews of Bam Starwood is a public apology would be last Christmas. The Zuchi Guardian did an only updates video asking me why is it. Asked me where Zuchi Guardian asked me a really creepy question. Why don't I upload all my scripts? That is just plain creepy. You know that nobody does that, obviously. And it's the truth, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's not even his business. Shouldn't be his business anymore. No. The truth on why Zuchi Guardian sadly never got to read my script for casual reviews of Bamshot What is a Public Apology would all come down to the fact that that at the time when I just started writing the script, he wasn't my editor anymore. So if he really wants to see what I personally fully have in mind for that episode, he would have to wait till once the episode itself actually comes out. And the same can also be said about all future episodes of Casual Reviews with Bamshot in general. And yes, this also includes the top 11 dumbest Kingdom Hearts moments as well. And if you think I intend to hide anything suspicious, that is not the case at all, It's just business on my part, Based on what you guys saw at the post-end credits, it really always wasn't that way, Now, the only reason why I had to shoehorn in Chris Etrata being destroyed by the Death Star is because, well, I just wanted to help find a way to prove that not everybody can be in epic battles, unfortunately. I mean, if you really want to make a successful crossover project one way or another, you're definitely going to have to think about two major things. Your demographic, and, and you want to make sure that you're thinking realistic when including certain characters. Yeah, and that's what my main problem with Chrissy. Now, speaking of Chrissy Trotta, that is the latest controversy that I've personally had with Chrissy Trotta would all come down to the fact of how he came to be in Epic Battles 4. Now, originally, he was supposed to be just a simple mention, all out slandered, pretty much getting to be blamed on for making a mistake, similar to what happened in the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars, similar to what happened to Jar Jar Binks in the Phineas and Ferb crossover episode. Excuse me. But anyways, yeah. I'm really not making this up when I say this, that there are certain characters that have been outlawed by not just me, but also more importantly by Dante. And he makes up all the character decisions. I'm not making this up. And while we may have included so many characters for something like Epic Battles and so many songs, and it's not going to be anybody and everybody. And that is the same reason why, and that is also what happened with Super Smash Bros. Now, if you're a regular follower of Source Gaming, then chances are you guys may have heard about when may have heard of that whenever Masahiro Sakurai get considered a character for Super Smash Bros., that despite the fact that he did include non-Nintendo characters like Snake, Sonic, Sonic Belmont Richter, Bayonetta, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Ryu, and Cloud, it's not going to be anybody and everybody. Which definitely does explain why you wouldn't be able to see characters such as Sly Cooper, Kratos, Master Chief, nor Tom's a tank engine get into Smash. Why? Let's just say they sound really unrealistic, you know. Now, if a Sony, now if a PlayStation character were to be in Smash, it most likely have to be Crash Bandicoot. Why? Considering the fact that the company who currently owns the rights to Crash Bandicoot would be Activision, which definitely does explain why we did get to see Crash Bandicoot crash into Microsoft and Nintendo consoles as well, including the Xbox One and the Switch. Which definitely does explain why why Crash Bandicoot and Insane Trilogy did get to be released on the Xbox One and on the Switch. Whereas from Microsoft's characters go, the most likely one who can be in Smash would have to be Banjo-Kazooie. Why? Well, let's just say there is no denying the fact that Banjo-Kazooie does indeed play history of Nintendo. So it makes sense. So it would be smart for Microsoft CEO Phil Spencer to give out his approval to Nintendo to use them for Smash if they wanted to. But yeah, anyways, with the case of epic battles, there are certain characters that can never be in epic battles at all. A prime example would be Barney the Purple Dinosaur. While yes, we did include every single Sesame Street character, and yes, this also includes Elmo, the only reason why anyone from Sesame Street or the Muppets can be in epic battles is because at least you have lots and lots of people who love watching Sesame Street and the Muppets, without any question. Hell, it is worth acknowledging the fact that that characters from Sesame Street and the Muppets did become major crossover icons. Whereas Barney, on the other hand, yeah, he definitely wouldn't fit well due to the fact that due to his target audience, And then another character who cannot be in epic battles would be anyone from South Park. Why? Well, let's just say it has the habit of offending viewers, Although Dante and I both did get away including characters from shows from adult cartoons such as The Simpsons and Family Guy. Well, what makes The Simpsons and Family Guy both epic battles worthy is at least with The Simpsons and Family Guy, at least they both do have younger viewers as well. Whereas South Park, on the other hand, only contains nothing but older viewers. Like those currently not in school anymore. Obviously. And, South Park. And then you also have Grand Theft Auto, considering of how it negatively impacted the world of media, the world of society at times. And then you also have Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool, due to the fact that, according to Dante, as much as I would love to use those characters for epic battles, they would be too adult for Dante to use as well. So as using Marvel characters go, they would most likely have to go, because you're most likely see more of either Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Avengers, or the Fantastic Four. So at least you guys are somewhat getting what you guys want, coming from out of a Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, you also have most of the Disney TV shows from either Disney Channel Saturday Morning, Disney Channel, Disney XD. Now, the only reason why Dante would consider including only any Disney Afternoon characters for something like Epic Battles is because, well, when we speak about the Disney Afternoon, when people think about the greatest Disney TV shows, they're mostly going to be thinking about anything coming from the Disney afternoon. Even if we did get shows like House of Mouse, Lilo and Sister series, Phineas and Ferb, Kim Possible, The Proud Family, or Gravity Falls, or even Pepper Ann. But yeah. As for what led up to me getting back in it, as for why I would consider doing what I did to Azuchi Guardian for in the end of What is a Public Apology. Now, do you guys ever get the saying, treat others the way you would want to be treated? Yeah. That is why I would ever consider not just getting back at him, getting my revenge on Azuchi Guardian for causing lots of drama behind the scenes when I was actually making that same episode. But also, this is also why I did claim. This also explains why I did have this fear. Claim that I've been having this fear that Caleb Corker, Alexander Mirabella, Chris Etrata, Mia Ray, and Steph Elton all want to rape me for including My Little Pony characters in my crossover projects. Because when it comes to the inclusion of My Little Pony characters for something like Epic Battles, let me tell you all for a fact that especially means you, Morgan, in case if you're watching this, that Dante does not like it when someone dare come bugging me or him to cut out any characters out of Epic Battles. However, if I did include a character you dislike, or your name and likeness, or your any of your intellectual property, well, there may be a good reason why that is, which I'll get into that another time. But anyways, that is all for fall 2018. I'll see you guys in the next video.